On April 11th, 2024, an 80-foot pine tree fell through my house, and I thought that was going to be the hardest part. Looking back now, getting the tree off the house was actually the easiest part of the next 9 months. As a realtor, I've helped clients through storm damage before. What I learned that is helping someone else through it is completely different than living it yourself. If this ever happens to your home, I want you to know exactly what to expect, what we did right, what we did wrong, and what I do absolutely differently. The 11th started like any other day. I dropped my vehicle off to get an oil change, was sitting in the waiting room reading a book. It was raining pretty hard, but that's Southeast Louisiana. There was a tornado warning, but there was a tornado warning for almost the entire state. So I didn't think much about it. Then the windows at the mechanic shop started vibrating. Not rattling, vibrating. I remember looking up, thinking, well, that ain't right. Picked up my phone, called my wife. She answered, said, come home, we got a tree on the house. Those 6 words will haunt me for the rest of my life. My first thought wasn't about the house. It was whether my wife and dog were okay. The mechanic shop was about 2 miles from my house, but that drive felt longer than 10 minutes. As soon as I pulled onto the road, I knew this wasn't a normal storm. There was debris everywhere, tree limbs, insulations. Things were still kind of falling out of the sky while I was driving. Power was out, which almost never happens where we live. As I got closer to my neighborhood, I started seeing trees on houses, one after another, then another. One house had most of the roof torn off. Then I realized it wasn't just my house. Our entire neighborhood got hit. Then I turned the corner and saw my house. The only 80-foot pine in my front yard had snapped about 8 feet above the ground and was laying across my roof. I couldn't even get through the front door. I had to go through the garage. As I walked through the garage, I expected to see damage. I wasn't expecting to hear it. As I walked through the laundry room, everything looked fairly normal. Then I started hearing water. And the farther I walked into the house, the louder it got. Drip, drip. First thing I did was hug my wife. The second thing I did was make sure the dog was okay. The house could wait. Later, we realized it's something that still gives me chills. My wife's a meteorologist. She watched the wind shift and she immediately knew something wasn't right. She grabbed the dog and went into the interior bathroom. That bathroom ended up almost directly underneath where that tree came through. She did exactly what she was trained to do. She went to the safest room in the house, and it almost wasn't. Once I knew we were okay, I started walking through the damage. Water was dripping from both ceiling fans in the living room. 8 recessed lights were dripping. It was raining inside my living room. Then I walked in the guest bedroom, and first thing I noticed was the smell. Fresh pine, rain, wet insulation, and then I looked up. A branch had come through the ceiling, leaving about a 6-foot hole. Everything in that room was destroyed. The bed, the lamps, the pictures, everything. Then I went upstairs. My office had taken a hit. Branches had punched through the roof there also. I could actually see daylight where my roof used to be. I kept looking around and I noticed something. The tree had landed almost perfectly between 2 HVAC units. At the time, I thought we had gotten lucky. I had no idea those 2 HVAC units would be one of the biggest arguments during the entire rebuild. Those 2 units almost cost me thousands of dollars. Standing there, I made a decision. I wasn't going to spend a day wondering how bad this was. I was going to solve the next problem. First thing we did, call our parents, close friends, let them know we were okay. Then I had my wife start the insurance claim while I was documenting the damage. Every room, every wall, every ceiling, every piece of furniture, the hole, the puddles, hundreds of pictures. If I thought I had enough, I took even more because I knew once the cleanup started, I'd never be able to recreate what this house looked like on day 1. If you remember one thing from this chapter, remember this. You cannot take too many pictures. Take pictures before you move anything. Take pictures before the cleanup starts. Take pictures before the insurance adjuster gets there. Your memory will fade. The damage will change. But those pictures, they become part of your claim and your record of what happened. Once we had insurance company involved, damage documented. It was time to get the 80-foot pine tree off the house. And that's when we discovered the tree wasn't our biggest problem anymore.